Hey y'all, how are you? How are my creative people doing? I I was thinking about something, I could say tribe, but the other day I was thinking this week, I've had Victor all week. This is my first break. David and I were supposed to go out on a date. I have on a dress. I look real cute. And David is asleep, and I tried to wake him up. He worked late. He worked last night, and then he got home this morning. He slept for a couple hours, and then Victor decided not to wake anybody up early this morning, and he decided to put waffles in the toaster. And we have a 4-piece toaster, and he put one on each section. There was an empty one on each end, and one of them got kind of caught under the lip, and it didn't clip back. It didn't pop back up. So the waffle started burning. Our fire alarm starts going off. David jumps out of bed, and lo and behold, Victor's sitting in the recliner waiting for his waffles to pop up, watching cartoons. So once David was awake like that, he was awake. So then he cut the grass, and I washed dishes and fixed breakfast and then lunch and made sure he had plenty of fluids. My daughter came over, and my daughter helped me clean up some of this room, which is why you see some piles in places, because I have sections. I have 2 garbage bags, tall garbage bags full of stuff. I have not even started with the stuff to donate. That's why you see piles over there. That's a Ziploc bag with my puzzle in it, which I believe my daughter may be taking home along with the puzzle glue, so that I gotta pull this drawer out so I can do my foot. I have the mirror here. I have some things that I need to hang up, like shelves. Okay, let's get comfortable for this coffee chat. Yeah, it was like crazy around here this whole week, and I filmed a little bit of a video, filmed another little bit of a video, and by the time I could get to them where I could edit them, and I'm sitting down to edit, put it all together, Victor's like, Mimi. I'm like, Mimi has to work. He was like, but you were working earlier. And he is starving for attention. This underdress thing. So anyway, he's starving for attention right now because Maria is close to having the baby. There was the baby shower. He had his birthday. My mom's got some issues with her house, so he hasn't went to go see her. His grandpa's got a new job in Florida, my ex-husband, and he has not been able to really go see him this summer. And he spent the night with me, I think 1 or 2 times over the summer until this week, where he's been here the whole week. And I have the interview to do with David, but like I said, I've had Victor here all week, and I could have interviewed Victor and David together, but that would not have worked. And it's now August, and I'm thinking, well, we're going to interview Mr. Rockstar for August. I was going to interview him on the way back from Rome, Georgia a couple weeks ago, but we left at night, and although my new iPhone 6s thing has a great camera, it's not that great. Like, I don't know how, or at least I don't know how it will do better with the pictures than it will with the video. So anyway, I could have taken a picture of him and then did the recording and just done it that way, but I wanted to actually have him anyway. So back up a minute. Victor. So Maria spent the day here, helped me with some of the stuff in here. My carts have been reorganized, all except the top of one. I have to reorganize my backpack. I have a bin I need to reorganize, and I have a few things. I've got all my old journals and some of my traveler's notebooks and some of my half-used journals and 1 or 2 empty journals on my bookcases in the closet. I have supplies on the shelving unit that's in the closet. Things that are too big for here, like the paper cutter and the basket full of different things, all kinds of things like that. So anyway, I'm looking at that pile down there, of the checkers bag and my puzzle bag. One of those bags is Victor's checkers bag because he came in here when Maria and I were cleaning the room, and Maria didn't want to be on film because she's so pregnant, y'all, and she was miserable. So I figured when I'm doing some of this, because I have not redone the filming setup yet, and I figured y'all didn't really want to watch me and Maria putting trash together, because she was sitting on the floor with baskets going through stuff, old stuff, and putting stuff that looked good in one pile and the other stuff that was trash in the bag, and I was going through piles. So when I go to redo this, y'all will get to see it, because right now it's just a matter of, you know, kind of sorting through some stuff. It doesn't look like I've done anything in here because you don't see the floor, which I can now see. And I cleaned up under here. I found some of the paper I was missing. I found some of the Avery label sticker paper kind of stuff that I couldn't find. I found some of my photo paper that I couldn't find. I actually found my Ollie clip that I was missing. It was in the cart. In the bottom of the cart, it had stuck, the magnet had stuck to the cart. So, there's a couple other things I'm missing. I'm hoping, like my little Hobonichi green stencil again. I'm hoping that while I'm cleaning, I will find it again. I don't know why I keep missing that damn thing. I got some little clear pocket things that I'm going to be putting in my Hobonichi, and I'm going to stick that thing in there once I find it. My mom had to mail me back my bullet journal. I got it in the mail yesterday. I was so happy, or the day before. I was so happy to have it, y'all. So happy. So very happy. Yeah, I got it Friday because she mailed it Thursday. I called her Wednesday evening and I was like, do you see my little purple leather journal thing? Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today is there have been a few things on my mind. One is not journal funk so much as art funk. Like, I have been in an art funk. Let me make sure I say that. F-U-N-K, a funk. And part of it's addressing some of the internal issues that I was having. And then I think once I addressed some of the internal issues, then the external started to kind of fall into place. Talk about that a little bit. For a good long time, well, my whole life, creativity has been my escape. When I was really young in elementary school, it was reading and writing in my diary. My daddy died at the end of second grade. I was 7. And then my mom remarried. I was 9. So that the whole first year after my daddy died, I escaped into books. By the time I finished the 3rd grade, I was reading at like a 6th or 7th grade reading level. I'd always been into books, even when I was really little. By the time I was in like 2nd grade, I was reading 3rd grade. I was at least 1 to 2 years ahead in the reading. Math, not at all. But I had to work. Oh, I had to work at the math. Reading and writing in my diary. My whole life, I've been an avid reader and an avid diarist. A journal keeper. But over the course of, I'd say, high school until I was in my early 40s, mid 40s, I wrote poetry. I wrote some short stories. I dabbled a tiny bit in fiction on and off, like in high school, short stories and stuff. I quit trying to write fiction for a long time, and I was an avid, I drew and stuff. I took 3 years of art class in high school, and then I was on the newspaper staff. I took a newspaper class, how to do newspaper stuff, and I was on the newspaper staff in high school. I dabbled in photography. Back then it was 35 millimeter. I've always loved pictures. I like to be behind the camera. Which is amazing that I may have been doing videos, because once upon a time, you would not have convinced me that I would ever have been like this, doing videos. But as things transitioned and transformed over a few decades, being a mom, being married and a mom, and then a single parent when I got divorced and everything, I left the art for a long time, probably 30 years. I didn't really, every once in a while I'd sit down and color with the kids or draw something for one of the kids. Like one year I drew the log cabin on the syrup bottle. I drew a few little things here and there, but mostly it was for my kids, and you know, they're gonna think at that time they were gonna think whatever I did was great, so I didn't feel like judged or anything. But I wrote poetry, I scrapbooked, I wrote some essays in college that were put in our college paper, some poetry that was put in my college paper. I on and off dabbled in all of those things over that 30-year period of time. I fell in love with DIY projects over that 30-year period of time. And all the while I was still an avid journaler and an avid reader. Now, most of my journals were text. I would occasionally include something that I found in a magazine or a ticket stub or a photo, sort of like a smash book without washi tape. You know, I mean, I had glue and or white regular Scotch tape, and you know, that's what I did. So I'd either tape them in there. Sometimes I'd use packing tape, you know, because packing tape covers a lot more at one time. And in my early 40s, like I said, I began to add art to the pages of my journals. I started really getting into art. I think I started with pencils because my daughter gave me some watercolor pencils, and then I had a set of Crayola colored pencils, and I had some markers. Well, little did I know that the markers I ended up with were acid markers, not good. Now I wish I had those markers. As I kept on and, you know, fell down the YouTube rabbit hole, I got into planning, and then it was the Fauxbonichi, and then the Omni Journal, and then it was the Bullet Journal, and I tried rings, I tried the Erin Condren, I tried the, oh, what is it? It's on the tip of my tongue. The one with the octagon things, and she used to have, it'll come to me later. I tried a bunch of different ones, and I like bound books. I never was really into inserts because I found myself in love with the A5. I needed more room. I write bigger. I write a lot. And then there weren't very many inserts that were A5 that were lined or dotted. I mean, that were dotted at all, or grid. I had traveler's notebooks, so I needed some kind of more of a soft cover notebook, but I wanted a notebook because there weren't really any inserts. I think the only one I found were some Fabriano ones at Michael's, and they were plain, and the paper wasn't all that great. The ones that I got at my Michael's were not that great for watercolor at that time for me, for watercolor, because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was very heavy-handed with the paint or the water, or yeah, not good. As I endeavored to try to find some journals, I started like with the A5 Stology and the Nanabe Paper Standard, which was blank. Then they came out with the Crossfield. I fell in love with the Crossfield. I used the Crossfield for years until I found Taroko Design and started using the 68 GSM dot grid Tumbleway River paper, which I do love. Do have to say that I love the crinkle from the 52. I like white paper. I'm not a real big fan of cream paper. And next time I may cut the Enigma down, get it cut down. But this is the Nanami paper micro dot, which is pretty much the same thing as Crossfield. It's just the dots are dots instead of little blue crosses, which I kind of miss, but I'm okay with this paper. I really like it. It crinkles. As I fell down the rabbit hole, and over time, I sort of developed a bit of a style. It's not one that brings me joy anymore. Some of it does, but not all of it. I was looking through some of my old journals when Maria and I were putting them on the bookshelf, because I had them in a big stack in here on the side of the other bookshelf, because I needed to rearrange a few things in order to fit them all up there. I have probably 3 shelves in that bookcase at least that are filled with old journals. When I get the closet a little bit cleaner and I move the big tripod and the little tripod out of the way, I will take a picture of it for y'all. So I'm at this place where I think, and that's where I've been for the last few months. I was at this place where I wasn't really happy with what I was doing. It was definitely starting to look all the same. So I'm at this place where I don't want to be too influenced by other people. One of the great things about the two people that I will see their art on Patreon is that they're very different than me. I learn a lot from them though. And that's the thing. If you're going to be inspired and you're like me, you want to be yourself. You know, you want something that reflects your style, your vision of what you want. I jumped around a lot. Some of it felt like I was jumping around because I was unhappy with what I was doing. I mean, if you're unhappy, that's not bringing you joy. But the other part of it felt like there was something going on. I got to this point where I had to ask myself some questions. And that was, what is my vision? What do I want out of my art, out of my journals? When you're flip-flopping back and forth, you know, maybe it's the size, maybe it's the journal, maybe it's the paper, then maybe it's the cover. And I was thinking maybe some kind of hybrid between illustrative and almost, or like between illustrative, but maybe anywhere from simple to a bit more realistic, but not photograph realistic. I don't think I ever want to do art that is photograph realistic. I want it to look like what I'm doing, but what I mean for it to look like. But I don't need it to look like a photograph. If I want a photograph, I'll take a photograph and put it in my journal. So I was thinking, well, maybe I need to maybe go back to some basics. Take some of those drawing books for kids that are actually pretty in-depth and go back to some of the basics with my drawing. Maybe simplify some of the other things, you know, that I'm doing. And then I was thinking, well, I don't need to, one of the big things is I realized over the past few months, because there's been so much going on between taking care of my mom, helping to take care of my mom a bit here and there, taking her to doctor's appointments, which I did this week. I went Monday. I got Victor. Victor and I went to my mom's on Monday. Tuesday morning, we all went to take my mom. Me and Victor took my mom to the doctor. Then we took my mom to the 2 different tax places. And then, you know, she's trying to get the homestead discount that my dad had. You can get it once you get 65 in South Carolina. Anyway, so she can get a discount on her house taxes, her property taxes for the house and the land. I was thinking maybe I could improve my skills with some of the basic stuff. Maybe I could simplify some things. I've been looking at Samantha Dion Baker's book and Emma Block, I think her name is. And I enjoy their styles. They're different. I love the way that Samantha Dion Baker's topography, her lettering is, along with her art. But that's not me. But I don't know really what I want. I know I like drawing bits of my day. I know I like adding collage. I know I like adding pictures. I like the B6 size probably the most, but I do think the A5 size works really well for me for planning. The bullet journal is different. This bullet journal is actually definitely becoming an omni journal, a creative bullet journal. So I was like, okay, well, I can choose to be more simple or more detailed with my art. I can go back to some of the basics, and I could do a little bit of research, and I can have some fun with some of the basics in those books that I have that are lined my shelves that I'm not really using. I haven't used in a while, so maybe that would be a good thing. I'd like to be able to draw from real life, but have it look like my art and my style. I don't even know what that is. Like I said, some kind of hybrid, depends on my mood. Or from a reference, or a picture, you know, a picture is a reference. Anyway, but I think the big thing is I'd like to feel confident about what I'm doing. And I'd like for, if someone saw my work, and not my handwriting, but my art, they would know it was me. And they wouldn't be, oh, well, that kind of looks like so-and-so, but, you know, oh, her work looks like so-and-so's. I want my work to look like my own work. I want to be to a point where when I go urban sketching or plein air sketching, if somebody looks over my shoulder, I don't automatically want to shut my book when it's just art and it's not personal writing. I don't want to automatically shut my book because I'm afraid they're going to criticize it, or because I feel like, well, my lizard brain And the imposter syndrome is going, oh, they're going to hate that. Oh, they're going to hate that. So I heard this quote, I think it's by Seth Godin, something like that. The genius part is getting the lizard brain to shut up long enough to overcome the resistance. And that's the key. That's the thing with fear and self-doubt and the lizard brain, the imposter syndrome, where you feel that's when you get that resistance. It all stems from that. The bigger part of our brain, the outer part, he said, that's our how do I, and you get to doing. The limbic system, that's more of the feelings, and that's where that fear and stuff can come in. One of the things I realized after I was thinking about some of this, I did a reading, a chart reading and stuff I did a chart reading with Ro, and Ro and I were talking about some things. And I realized some over July, and between the reading I had with Ro and One Book July, and then before that even, one of the things I realized is that if you're busy all the time, like I was busy all the time. For the last few months, I haven't been doing as many videos because I've been trying to produce more quality videos instead of quantity of videos. As a matter of fact, I'm to the point where I'm ready to just do 2 tiers, and I can leave the tiers the way that they are, but take away the have the rewards stay the same for all the tiers. Have the $3 tier, which is the coffee chat, and maybe a post with some pictures. I just want to start doing more of that now that I have the iPhone and stuff. I want to do more personal stuff too, like a little clip here and there, like I did with the one little video with the rain. And right after I did that, like the sky fell more, so I was glad I got to do that when I did, because the thunder, and of course as soon as I hit record, the thunder and lightning were like, hey, we're going to wait because we're going to make a liar out of you. I think you can hear the thunder in that, but I didn't even go back to check. I didn't even edit that video. I just wanted to get it up and say, hey, I'm here and I'm trying, but Victor's, and it's storming. This week has been a crazy week, which is why it's Saturday and I'm doing the coffee chat. But I think I was so busy that part of the busyness was hiding. I was hiding behind the busyness. I was so busy being busy that I didn't have time to listen to all of the noise in my head, the ADHD and the anxiety and the depression and the guilt and all of that. It came through, believe me, it came through, but it wasn't so overwhelming all the time. So when I slowed down and started thinking more about quality of videos instead of the number of videos, and I let YouTube slide quite a bit, and there were like weeks where I didn't do anything for YouTube, but I started thinking more about quality. So I think I'm going to start definitely doing more live videos for YouTube. I don't know about doing live videos for Patreons, not that I don't want to, it's just that the time frame thing would be so hard. But if y'all would like for me to do live videos, especially as I'm going to be redoing things, and I think I'm switching the webcams around so that the webcam I'm using now for the overhead, I'll be using for my face, and the webcam I'm using for my face, which is really clear, will be for overhead. And I'll just blur out personal stuff or use post-it notes for stuff I don't want people to read. But I was so busy, being busy, and hiding. I was afraid of the possibilities. I was afraid of success. I was afraid of failure. I was being busy. I got to a point where, and I think a lot of that had to do with grief and anxiety and depression and overwhelm, stress from all this family stuff. And it really affected my creativity. So I got to this point where I was busy being busy, trying to, getting stuff done. So I had these moments of progress, moments of productivity, and that made me feel good, and then it motivated me to keep at it, and then I'd just get busier, because the busier I was, the better I felt externally. am hiding all of this from myself even, so I didn't have to listen. I didn't have to hear all of that. You know, I didn't have to feel all of that. And if you're not listening to your own self, if you're not hearing yourself, what you really want to say, what you really think, if you're not taking the time, if you're blurring out all of that, then, I mean, what are you really going to journal about, you know? I could have hid and just did absolutely nothing. And in the very beginning, when everything was going on, there was at one point, not in the very beginning, because in the very beginning, having something to do, my work, is what sort of kept me occupied, because I had went through something so traumatic that I had no idea of whether I was coming or going, and I needed to deal with it. So then a few months down the road, there were a few points during the grief process where I thought, you know what, this is all just too much. I need to start cutting back things in my life. And I was thinking, well, I could cut back this and I could cut back that. And I was like, well, maybe I should just concentrate on my art all by myself. Maybe without YouTube, without Patreon. Just I was at that place where if I'd have made any of those moves, it would have been complete and utter isolation. And as a Cancer, climbing into my shell and hiding, the Leo in me was like, oh, hell no. And the Aquarian in me was like, you might want to think about that. Let's stop and think about that. One of the things I realized during all of this is that, I mean, my dad used to tell us, you know, there are going to come a time in your life where nobody's going to come save you. You're going to have to do it yourself. It's the same thing with nobody can fix anybody else. You can only fix you. So I got to a point where it's like, okay, let's do things, but let's make these things more quality things. Let's make these things that I love and enjoy. And let's finish things. Maybe the time frame won't be quite where I want it to be, but let's finish things. Let's get things done. Let's start projects and finish them. So I'm on this quest now to do the things that I really want to do that really bring me joy, that I'm going to finish. Things that I know I will want to finish. Because it is really about, it's about finishing. It's not necessarily about the starting. The starting of the journal is really fun. But I've realized something over this one book July, with all of this bouncing back and forth, changing this or changing that. I realized it when I made the choice to not change journals necessarily, but to change the cover. And then towards the end of One Book July, I realized that I could have stayed in Nostology, and I was going to stay in Nostology. But the moment I got the micro dot and I felt the Tomaway River paper, it was like rockets, red glare went, and fireworks went off, and people were blowing the bugle, and I heard a trumpet, and people were playing the drums and guitars, and I was like, yeah. And I realized that it was not, hey, I want to start a new journal, that made me feel that way. It was just the feel of this journal, the paper. And I do like Nostology, but I love Tomaway River paper. So that was purely from that I decided to go ahead and cut it down. And I followed my intuition with that. And I was kind of at this place where I kind of asked myself, the rational side and the more creative side, the emotional, imaginative side, the kind of mediator, you know, hey, is this something I really want? Like, is it something I want to do? Is this something I should do? Is it something I shouldn't do? You know, and so I ended up changing cutting down the journal, going ahead and doing it. And I might get back to the astrology. I may never get back to the astrology. I put this quote in here by Roy T. Bennett in the beginning of this one that says, "You will never follow your inner voice until you clear up the doubts in your mind." That's been one of the things I really was working on in July, trying to clear up some of the doubts. Some of the, why isn't my art bringing me joy? Why am I hesitant to even draw something simple, you know, like the mild liner? I actually hesitated over that damn mild liner. I did the fin, you know, did the little camera. I did the shark. I haven't been doing like the coffee cup or my dinner, you know. I've been kind of easing back into the art a little bit here and there. I did this, which was a lot of fun, because I seriously haven't been sure of what I want to do, but I knew I wanted to do something because I want to learn and I want to grow, and I like my style. I want to improve my art and sort of develop my own kind of thing. I want to be me. I want to be happy and accept me for the work in progress that I am as an artist and a writer and a poet and a journal keeper and a content creator and a, you know, just be happy with me and with where I'm at right now, and the fact that I'm a work in progress and that I've been through a tremendous amount in the last few years, and now I'm about to have another grandbaby, and I'm really excited about that. And I'm at this positive stage in my life where I get to enjoy things, and I love what I do. And when what I do starts to feel like work and I don't have joy in it, that's a problem. Those are two things that do not go together for me. It's okay when I feel like it's work and I'm enjoying it. When I know I've got like a deadline, I'm trying to get things done, and I'm busy, but I'm productive busy. Not busy to be busy. So this has been a really eye-opening kind of thing for me. I am so appreciative to Ro for helping me through some of that with the chart reading and with her intuition, her ESPN. That's what my son and my daughter call it, because of some movie. But intuition is a really good word. But I'm at this place where I feel really good about what I'm doing now. And I'm easing back into things. I'm being artistic in a variety of ways. I'm being creative in a variety of ways. And I'm not redoing my room. I am cleaning and organizing and redoing some setup stuff. I may be able to just move the ring light to over here and move some lights and redo a few things. Not anything major, and I'm not sweating it, you know. If things work out when I do it, then they work out. If they don't, then they don't. I like the view from where I'm sitting right now, so I may just change the ring light and change the webcams and figure out a way to put this thing right. I might just put it right here so I can just turn my chair and use the laptop for the chat part, and actually use, you know, I can move the webcam. I've got it on an extended USB cordy thing, so I might just move the ring light down this way. I don't know, because this part of the desk is at a window with natural light, and sometimes the natural light's not necessarily a good thing. So I'm at this place where I'm just kind of figuring out some of the details now that I've been in this room for quite a while, and I like the setup of the room. I don't necessarily like the filming setup because the lighting's not always the best, and I'm using a webcam that I know is probably not the best for the overhead for art. So it'll be fine for my face, especially in the little things. And I have another webcam that's just like the one that I have up here right now, but the little screw thing came out and it's gone. So I can use that one and sit it on my laptop. Actually, you know, whatever, I'll figure it all out. I can film from the phone, and it does have iMovie, but it does not allow you, it will edit, you can like edit out some stuff. So anyway, I'm at a good place. I feel like this is a good place, and I feel like I finally kind of figured some things out, And I am using the Hobonichi, so like I said, the next video will be doing some of this. Just because this is all work stuff. These are August tasks. I have 2 pages. These are August goals. This is part of the coffee chat. And then I don't have anything written for today. So I may do some writing, or I might draw, you know, I don't know. But we'll see. But so far, things are good. Now, I have 1 or 2 choices. I'm behind on videos. We have some new patrons. Hello to the new patrons. We have somebody who's a new patron. We have somebody who moved up. I think we had 2 last month that were new, and 1 of those moved up, and then I have a new one for this month. So hello, welcome. I do use the Facebook group for here a little bit. If you would like to join it, just add me on Facebook, and I will add you to the group. Let me know. And then if you want to stay friends with me on Facebook, that's cool. If you don't, that's okay. I haven't been posting to Facebook a whole lot lately because I've had Victor, and Victor hasn't really wanted his picture taken. He's in a phase right now. So, and it's just been crazy busy this week with Victor. He has wanted all of the me time. He didn't even want to spend the night at my mom's for the 2 nights that we, Monday night, Tuesday night. Didn't want to spend the night at my mom's, and I slept on the couch at my mom's, and he could have slept in the bed with my mom. No, he had to sleep on the couch with me. I did not get much sleep either night. So, in a world full of fish, I'm being a shark. I'm doing my own thing, and I feel really good about it, and I finally feel kind of confident about what I'm doing. I'm rambly. I have missed y'all. I have not. David has been working. So it's been me and Victor, and other than today when David was here, but he was cutting the grass, and Maria was here, and she was helping me. Today's the first day when I was talking to Maria that I've really had adult conversation since I left my mom's on Wednesday. So anyway, yeah. So, I think, like I was saying, I've gotten to the point where I was thinking about just doing 2 tiers. The $3 tier, and then another tier. I thought about doing the $3 and then like $9. So those of you who are at the $15 tier, you could stay at $15 if you wanted to. If you felt like that, you know, you could stay at $15. You'd get whatever I do for the $9 tier. I have really thought about that. Something I'm thinking about. I may do a poll because I want to do posts with pictures, and to do some chatting, like with writing, and then the coffee chats. And then I want to do videos. Still get videos every week. Some of them might be a little bit shorter, because to me, I don't know about y'all, but I mean, do y'all really want to see somebody drawing the lines? I mean, I don't mind doing the lines, filming that part if you want to see it sped up. But I don't want to see somebody, and you know, I'm just not, it's just not my thing. Because my time that I spend watching videos on YouTube, I could have that time where I'm just watching somebody draw damn lines, spent doing something else, like listening to a podcast or doing my own drawing. I could do drawing while they're doing that, but it distracts me. I'd rather listen to somebody talk about something, you know, and most people don't really talk a whole lot when they're doing that, because a lot of people have trouble talking and, you know, creating. At least I do. Like certain things I could do a little bit of. Maybe I could talk when I draw lines. But anyway, so y'all let me know. And I'm sorry this is like so rambly, but I have really missed y'all. And I feel like this is a good month to kind of, I wrote it down. I was talking about it's about finishing, not starting, and I want to build around that. I talked about in the very beginning addressing the internal, which I've done, which is helping to fix the external. So on the bottom of this page, where I have the coffee chat stuff, these are some of the things I have. Look in the mirror and give yourself a heartfelt compliment. don't seek average. What do I do? This is kind of has a reference to some of the questions that were for David. And I put, I'm an artist, as in a writer, a content creator. Well, my job would be, I create. I'm a creative. So, I don't know. So I think when I start saying hello, y'all, I'm going to say, hey, creatives. How y'all doing? I like that, creatives, because that is neither masculine nor feminine. And I'm all about some creativity. And I think that's the thing, is that for a while I was feeling like I wasn't being creative because I wasn't drawing and watercoloring. I was doing other kinds of art, and I felt like there's that little voice in my head, that lizard brain going, people aren't going to like that. You don't like that. What are you doing? You don't even like me. And I was like, but I was really enjoying it. I felt like I was embracing my inner kindergartner with, gluing stuff on the pages and cutting things out, and so I don't know, and I'm still going to continue with that quite a bit. I don't have a lot of magazines, but I do find a lot of things from different places, from real life, and different things, and I do have some stuff. And I think I'm going to start making trips like once a month to Goodwill and looking through children's books and magazines and seeing what they have as far as books and magazines and stuff like that. So, and now I'm just rambling. So I hope y'all have a good one. I will see y'all again really soon. And hopefully I can wake up my husband before it gets too late and we can actually have a date night. Bye, y'all.